Have you ever sat in your car long after pulling into the driveway, just staring at the dashboard? No music, no phone, just waiting for the energy to step inside. The world expects you to be a masterpiece of modern womanhood, calm, put together, and always on. But underneath that smooth surface, there is a quiet, exhausting hum, a mind that simply refuses to turn down its volume. We've been conditioned to believe that brilliance looks a certain way, neat schedules and polite, easy smiles. But psychological science tells a completely different story. The habits that prove your mind is working at higher capacity are often the exact same ones people call strange, messy, or even broken. If you've spent years trying to fix these parts of yourself, you need to understand what is actually happening under the hood. Let's start in the dark. It's 2 a.m. The notifications have stopped. The roles you play all day, the listener, the fixer, the keeper of everyone else's peace, finally fall away. While the world sleeps, your mind wakes up. You pace the floor, talking to yourself, arguing both sides of a problem out loud. To anyone watching, it looks chaotic. They'd tell you to go to sleep. But this is what psychologist Lev Vygotsky called inner speech. When you process dozens of thoughts simultaneously, keeping them locked inside is like trying to organize a library in pitch black. Speaking out loud is how you turn on the lights. You aren't crazy. Your brain is just too active to keep quiet. Then there's the physical space, the desk covered in paper stacks, the creative clutter that looks like a storm passed through. Society judges a messy woman harshly, calling it a moral failure. But researchers at the University of Minnesota discovered that messy environments actually trigger higher creativity and innovation. Your mind isn't interested in alphabetizing bookshelves. It's busy solving bigger architecture. The clutter isn't a failure to keep up. It's the physical footprint of a brain that prioritizes depth over decoration. In that chaos, you have an internal map. You know exactly where everything is. This depth changes how you relate to the world. Have you ever felt a sudden, crushing exhaustion at a social gathering? Not because you hate people, but because the surface-level chatter feels like static. You've been called cold, distant, or intimidating. But there is a profound difference between loneliness and solitude. Loneliness is the pain of wanting connection and not finding it. Solitude is the deliberate choice of your own company, because your mind, when left uninterrupted, is the most interesting place you know. Your brain has a high baseline of internal stimulation. You don't need constant noise. You protect your energy by choosing one deep, authentic conversation over 100 shallow ones. But let's be real. This active mind isn't a neat, romantic fairy tale. It comes with heavy weights, overthinking, and procrastination. You don't just analyze your work, you dissect a text message you sent 3 days ago, questioning your tone. You run every scenario because you've learned the world judges women on delivery, not just content. And when it's time to start a project, you freeze, not from laziness, but because your standard of excellence is crushing. The gap between what you can envision and what you can currently produce feels too wide to cross. So you wait, refining it internally until the deadline forces your hand. The freeze is just the flip side of your brilliance. Even your humor can feel out of sync. You make a sharp, sarcastic, or deeply layered joke and watch it land on blank faces. And sometimes you just disappear. You're sitting at dinner, nodding, but mentally, you've traveled light years away, solving a background problem. Psychologists call this the default mode network. It's highly active in brilliant minds, simulating futures and generating ideas while you're physically present in the ordinary. The next time you are called too much or not enough, remember this. These habits are not malfunctions. They are the natural byproducts of a mind processing the world in high resolution. It is not a disorder. It is a different order entirely. Your rarity was never your weakness. It has always been your quietest strength.